Hello again, and welcome back to this series of design and technology videos for primary school teachers and teaching assistants. In this video I'm going to show you how to make these hand puppets. The main part of the mechanism for these hand puppets is two straws. We've got a straight jumbo straw and a bendy straw that's a smaller diameter that fits inside. Now I actually sell these straws. You can get them from my supply service. These straws you can usually find them in pound shops, and it's important that the bendy straw fits inside the jumbo straw. Now for the actual moving head, you could use card, thin card, which I use a lot for my projects. It produces a nice robust puppet. Problem is, I haven't tried this yet in a school. I really want to try this with year 2. And I think that the card is just going to be a little bit too challenging for them to fold up and to push holes through. So I'm going to use paper. Let's see how we get on. Put a rectangle of paper here. It's about the dimensions aren't important, but this is about 5.5 centimeters wide by 14 centimeters long. We fold it in half, and now we're going to push a hole near the hinged end. Now I would normally use my hole punch, but I realised that most primary schools won't have tools like this. This comes from a company called Maun, M-A-U-N, Maun Industries, and you can find them on the internet. But it is possible to make a hole with a sharp pencil and a sponge block. I'll just mark where the hole needs to be. It needs to be in the centre, about 1 centimetre from the end. Can you see that? And I'm just going to push through with a sharp pencil into a sponge block. Perhaps this pencil could be a bit sharper. There we go. And then push the pencil down, not all the way through, just enough, keep working it, just enough so that the bendy straw just about goes through. You might need to get the bendy part to come through. So can you see that? So we've gone through the hinged end there. We then bend the straw over, and I'm going to sellotape that down. This will be the top of the head, by the way. So we put one piece of sellotape there. It's not very straight. I'm sure we can do better than that. There we go. And another piece of straw. I'm just going to trim that straw back a little bit. And we'll put another piece of tape near the other end, like that. Okay, so far so good. Now we're going to get the straight straw, and we're going to cut down at one end approximately 2 centimeters, turn it round and cut 2 centimeters again. So I've made 2 cuts so that I can open the straw out like that. Can you see that? We're going to cut one of those off. Doesn't have to be absolutely precise and accurate, and we're actually going to bend that down and then sellotape that to the underside of the puppet's head. But before we slide it on, we need to make sure we've got enough of this straw sticking out at the bottom. So I'm just going to hold it up there. Can you see? Are you seeing that okay? And then I'm going to cut this straw off to leave about 2 centimeters of the bendy straw that's going to stick out. So now I can slide it on Being a bit stubborn. There we go. Pull that back. And I'll just hold this up so you can see. Just fold that out. So can you see the arrangement now? We've got that part of the straw that I left, that's going to be stuck down there, and I've got enough of the bendy straw out to be able to hold it with my finger. So we're just going to stick that down now to the underside with some more sellotape. Press that down really, really firmly. You might even want to put 2 pieces on, just to get that stuck on really securely. Okay, and now when we push and pull the bendy straw, can you see that it's making the head open and close? So we've just got a basic mouth mechanism there. Well, from now on it's decorating. Higher ability pupils, I'm sure, will come up with their own ideas. What can we do? We could perhaps make some teeth. Let's cut that straw back a little bit more. I should have cut it a bit shorter before, actually. There we go. We'll just cut that back a bit more. There we go. And that's just to give me enough here to bend down, and I can start to cut some teeth. Can you see what I've done there? And we'll just cut some teeth along here. You could make some teeth separately from a piece of paper. Just cut those out. There we go. And then the same with the bottom row of teeth. You might want to try and make the teeth interlock so that the top set of teeth fit inside the bottom set of teeth. I'm sure I'm doing this so fast it probably won't. There we are. Pull out the bits left over, that bit's got to come off. There we are. So we've now got, hopefully, 2 sets of teeth on our puppet. For the eyes, I've got some bits of paper here which we could curl over. I'm going to use stick glue to stick them on. Please excuse the noise. We're having a new playground built here at Ivydale Primary School. One piece and another piece, just to prove that I can make something without using a glue gun. And then the same with the other piece. There we go. Perhaps I should use stick glue more. And we'll stick that one on there. It's a little bit too long. I think my bendy straw wasn't quite in the centre. We'll just check everything's okay. Yeah. Bend those teeth up. There we go. We've got our puppet here. We could obviously just glue some draw some eyes, glue some eyes. I've got some googly eyes here. I wonder if I can use stick glue for this as well. You can get googly eyes that are self-adhesive. Stick that on. I'll probably stay on long enough for this video anyway. And then another one. There we are. And our puppet's really beginning to take shape now. Here's one that I made earlier, and what I've done here is I've pushed a pipe cleaner, folded a pipe cleaner in half and pushed it into the end of the bendy straw that's on top. got some more examples here. That's made out of card. I think this is supposed to be a frog. We've got a snake here. I haven't made a body for these, which is making puppet heads. This snake has actually got a body as well, but works in exactly the same way. So there's lots of ideas there for you. Here's another suggestion for making the head. This kind of triangular design. This one's made of card, but again I'm going to make it out of paper. This piece of paper is about 16 centimetres by 12 centimetres. We fold it in half first of all, then find halfway on the cut edge, which should be 6 centimetres, halfway point, and then I'm just going to mark 1 centimetre on each side, and then I'm going to cut from that mark. So I'm cutting into the loose edge here, and I'm going to cut up to that folded corner there, and then the same the other side. And you end up with that shape there. I'm then going to cut along that centre fold. I'm not even going to bother to measure it, it's about 3 centimetres. Fold it back flat and then fold that side up from that point to the end of the cut. So from that point to the end of the cut there. This is when you use card, this is quite difficult. This is why I've decided to use paper. Can you see that? If you saw my syringe operated monster video in this series, it's a similar kind of idea really, getting a 3D shape from a 2D piece of paper. So that's one side done, and then the other side exactly the same, it's symmetrical, and that side, fold them back to right angles, and you've got that shape which reminds me a bit of a dragon, perhaps it could be a bird's beak. Once again we make a hole, that's the hinge there, it's about 1 centimetre in at the centre. I think I'm going to just judge this one and bother to measure it. Sharp pencil, push it through, don't push the pencil all the way through, just so that it's just big enough to let the straw go through. Push the bendy end in first, pull it out, bend it over, and once again we sellotape this to the top. One piece there. I think I'm going to put another piece there. You could of course use a glue gun to glue that down. There we are, that's the top part, that's the bendy straw fixed on. We're now going to fix the jumbo straw on. Once again, exactly the same as before, 2 cuts, about 2 centimetres, fold one piece out, cut the other piece off, offer it up to the bendy straw with that folded over. This is to get the right length, so you've got some bendy straw sticking out, and then cut back to leave 2 or 3 centimetres of the bendy straw sticking out. Now we can slide it on, and again we're going to stick that piece of the jumbo straw onto the underside of the head. Really get this sellotape on firmly, press down really tightly, because otherwise it will come away. There we go, and check that that's working quite nicely. And again, you can decorate these in different ways. On this one I've put some different coloured paper inside, and I folded the top over and glued some googly eyes on there. And on this one I've got a slightly more complicated design for the eyes. Finally, another idea, probably getting carried away here, but it is possible to operate them just with one hand like that, and it returns itself, because I've got a rubber band here. The rubber band is just hooked around the bendy straw. Remember to put the band on before you stick the straw down on top. And then I've stuck another piece of jumbo straw onto there, so that this is a number 18 rubber band, so that it's just tight. And now it will return by itself as spring operated, so that you can operate them just with one hand, although you can operate the simpler design with one hand as well. So I hope you enjoy making these simple straw operated puppet toys. Thanks for watching.